What'd you get in return? A Trump judiciary, the greatest conservative Supreme Court in American history. That's what you ended up getting. Democrats always do this, but there's a problem to this pendulum swinging. The problem is eventually the pendulum breaks. It snaps. So one side's going to want this, and then every single president expect them to be indicted, expect them to be impeached. Because once you create that bloodlust, once the shark smells that blood, politics is a war zone, that's what you're going to get. And that's what you get in third world dictatorships. This is so very bad for our country. Tucker Carlson saying it better than I ever could, but really wrapping it up in his monologue 2 days ago. Check it out.
Another day of rumors and thinly sourced news stories. Ooh, what's new? These about when and where Donald Trump will be arrested, fingerprinted, and photographed against a cinder block wall for his mugshot. How much of this is true? Once again, we cannot say. Here's what we know. A Soros-funded prosecutor in New York, a man who ran on the promise to indict Trump, seems to be working hard to indict Trump, indicting him for a crime that no one even pretends is a crime, including the federal agency that has already investigated it and declared it not a crime. So in Manhattan tomorrow, what will certainly be an overwhelmingly liberal grand jury will meet, and unless something unexpected happens, Democrats will have taken the unprecedented step of using a corrupt justice system to take out the frontrunner in the Republican presidential field in a presidential race. And if that happens, America will never be the same. You've got to hope that for the sake of the country, the Biden White House, which will be running against Trump, will put the country above partisanship and stop this. That Merrick Garland at DOJ will issue a very public statement saying that this is wrong, which it is, and therefore preserve for our grandchildren our justice system. As of tonight, that doesn't seem to be happening.
Very wrong. So wrong. Everyone inside of the Republican field, in fact, including some people who really don't like Donald Trump and who hate Donald Trump, have been straight up saying that this is, of course, wrong, and this is not going to be something that they support. We can't find a single person who considers running for president in 2024 as a Republican who has stood up for the left, the Manhattan DA, including but not limited to people who have openly agitated and advocated against Donald Trump. His former vice president, Mike Pence, saying this.
I'm taken aback at the idea of indicting a former president of the United States at a time when there's a crime wave in New York City. That the fact that the Manhattan DA thinks that indicting President Trump is his top priority, I think, just tells you everything you need to know about the radical left in this country. The last 5 years, Democrats have been dismantling tough criminal justice in the city of New York. Families are paying the price, and yet this is what we get. It just feels like a politically charged prosecution here.
So it is, in fact, a politically charged prosecution here. This is the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump has been indicted and will, in the coming days, be fingerprinted, will, in the coming days, have to face off against the 2 tiers of justice. According to Kash Patel here on Truth Social, Donald Trump will not bend the knee. By leading us through the anarchy of injustice, he will create justice for all. Become number 47. That is what Kash Patel, one of the advisors to Donald Trump, is saying on Truth Social. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing all of the responses come in right now from all around the country. A lot of people, quite frankly, shocked by this, and a lot of people, quite frankly, enraged by this. This is what Dan Scavino has posted on Truth Social. Just a second, we're loading it up. This is Donald Trump's digital advisor and sort of the voice of Donald Trump online. He has just gone up with a video, and that video is going to be played for you right now.
The test of a man is how much he will bear for a cause which he knows to be right. How long will he stand in the depths of despair? How much will he suffer and fight? There are many to serve when the victory is near, and few are the hurts to be borne. But it calls for a leader of courage to cheer the men in a battle forlorn. It is the way you hold out against odds that are great that proves what your courage is worth. It is the way that you stand to the bruises of fate that shows up your stature and girth. And victory is nothing but proof of your skill, veneered with a glory that's thin. Unless it is a proof of unfaltering will, and unless you have suffered to win.
An old tome there, an old rhyme from about the toils and the being in the arena, sort of a Roosevelt style, like toiling and striving to win. That is what Dan Scavino is stating. Once again, Republicans are coming to the side of Donald Trump. I believe that what they've done here is all but assure him the Republican nomination here, unless something drastically changes, because there is magic to Donald Trump, which is that somehow this New York billionaire who owns skyscrapers can connect with the common man, with the working man. Maybe it's because Donald Trump built so much by himself, but the working man, the individual, they feel for Donald Trump. They connect with Donald Trump. They are one with Donald Trump. And this is like very, very important stuff. And these are the kind of things that really animate people towards Donald Trump, because the more you attack him and the more he is unfairly attacked, the more people see that Donald Trump's just sort of standing in the gap for them. What January 6th and a lot of these moments prove to us, and Nashville, for instance, is that these people just don't care about our lives. They don't care about the lives of regular Americans, middle Americans, forgotten Americans, rural Americans, Christian Americans. Have you seen what the White House said today? Karine Jean-Pierre said that trans people are being attacked. What world do you live in, lady? It is a sick, blackened darkness inside of their souls, and we can feel it as a spiritual movement. We feel it. And so that is why it is indefensible. Not even the people who are running against Donald Trump, the announced candidate, right? So Mike Pence hasn't announced. DeSantis hasn't announced. Vivek Ramaswamy has announced, and Vivek had this to say about the persecution of Donald Trump. This is a guy who's running against him.
I'm Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'm running for president of the United States. Earlier today, my competitor in this race, Donald Trump, was criminally indicted in a politically motivated prosecution. This is wrong. This is dangerous. We're skating on thin ice as a country right now. I think we may be heading on our way to a national divorce. I'm running for president because I care about a national revival instead, but this is a step in the wrong direction. You want to know what? Alvin Bragg, he ran on a campaign, a political campaign for his position, pledging to investigate Donald Trump. You don't know what he did today? He delivered on a campaign promise. That is not how our justice system is supposed to work. Justice is supposed to be impartial. If this had been anybody else other than Donald Trump, on this set of facts, it delivered on a campaign promise. That is not how our justice system is supposed to work. Justice is supposed to be impartial. If this had been anybody else other than Donald Trump, on this set of facts, it would have been charged as a misdemeanor at most, if at all. Delivered on a campaign promise. That is not how our justice system is supposed to work. Justice is supposed to be impartial. If this had been anybody else other than Donald Trump, on this set of facts, it would have been charged as a misdemeanor at most, if at all. Delivered on a campaign promise. That is not how our justice system is supposed to work. Justice is supposed to be impartial. If this had been anybody else other than Donald Trump, on this set of facts, it would have been charged as a misdemeanor at most, if at delivered on a campaign promise. That is not how our justice system is supposed to work. Justice is supposed to be impartial. If this had been anybody else other than Donald Trump, on this set of facts, it would have been charged as a misdemeanor at most, if at
The more people see
earlier.
what the polls announced,
Indicted in a politically motivated prosecution. This is wrong. This is dangerous. We're skating on thin ice as a country right now. I think we may be heading on our way to a national divorce. I'm indicted in a politically
instantly. Way to go, Vivek.